a baseline, it looks like that guy's got it made. Makes 150K. He pays all. He provides. People even say, oh, he makes more money, so he pays taxes. All these things that we attribute to someone their value because they make money. On the flip side, it's like, well, if you actually pay attention to that guy's record, he actually sells cars at extremely high interest rates to vulnerable populations who actually can't afford. And it's like the actual reverberating effects of what that guy does are way terrible. And then on the flip side, you have the person who volunteers at the place making only $20,000. He's providing education to inner city kids who, if it wasn't for him, would not be getting education. And some of those kids might end up being the next basketball players, the next engineers. So like on a baseline, it seems like, oh yeah, in our capitalist society, that person who's selling the cars, he's it. And the person who's just volunteering, what does he do? Especially when it comes to then more parts where, let's say you have the person he spends his time volunteering, and that's his choice, it's his passion, but it doesn't make a lot of money. And because of that, he has to be on government services just to subsidize himself a little bit. Our society, in a very natural way, will attack that man because he takes out an additional $10,000 in services while he's literally providing for our youth. But will question nothing about the man who makes money off literally the suffering and the misfortunes of others. So on one hand, just our society is based on an idea that money equals value, i.e. if you don't make a lot of money, you're not valuable. So there's that. Then in a more kind of recent phenomena, there's the, social media comparing itself with the Joneses, obviously, where we see, and I can't count how many times, the amount of ads I see of people my age, because the algorithm knows that I'm 27, so it's always going to show me people look about 25 to 30. The amount of ads I see with people my age who, I make 100K a month, bro, join my course to do X. I was making $1 million by the time I was 19. Like, the amount of content I see on that is insane. So that if I didn't know better, I would think, man, what am I out here doing, working honest living, helping people in a college? I could be making 100K selling a course. But then to go back to the initial conversation about comparing yourself, let's do a little digging. So there's two things you find out. On one hand, across the board, how many 19-year-olds, 25-year-olds actually make over 100K? Okay, less than 0.1%. So I know that algorithm is showing me the most tiny minority that even exists. And then if you go into it a little deeper, you find out that a lot of the people on social media, there's a whole thing around, since this is their job, they don't actually pay for those things. They're renting it